Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. If you don't already know, my name is Christy and this channel is all about deconstructing. Normally, I would say it's all about deconstructing our former evangelical, fundamentalist, and conservative Christian ideologies, which is always such a mouthful when I say it. But I am shifting gears a little bit here and widening the lens, so to speak. And I want to talk about it because I've changed my mind since my last video. I posted a kind of off the cuff video of my thoughts and feelings post-election. And I said that the political conversation, I didn't want it to set the tone for future videos. And I didn't want to get into politics. And I wanted to stay focused on what I was doing. But I changed my mind. And to be fair, in that video, I did say I'm like water. I kind of just go with the flow and I like to change my mind. I give myself that freedom. So that's what I'm doing, because the thing is, I never thought that it was a mystery where I stood politically. I never even considered that might be a mystery because of the nature of this channel. So I would think that it would have been kind of obvious where I lie politically, but apparently that came as a big surprise to a lot of people. And I've lost a lot of subscribers since the election and the days leading up and since. And I think that's not unique to me because it's happening all over. I see everyone else is losing subscribers too. Anybody on the left or anybody who talks about any of this kind of stuff like we talk about here. A lot of people are losing subscribers, and I think it's mostly due to the fact that a lot of people are just trying to like walk away, tune out. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to see it. People are tired. They're really tired and they're scared and they're frustrated and they're angry. So I think a lot of people are just trying to step away for a little while. I think they'll come back. Other people are, have decided to unsubscribe because they are just so unhappy with my voicing of my political opinions. So that's been interesting. But I just think it's absolutely crucial for me to kind of step out and talk about more than just the Bible and the teachings and the ideologies and, Jesus and God. And I feel like I need to kind of expand, because deconstruction, it's not just about realizing you no longer believe in God or realizing that what you believed about God might not be true. I know a lot of people deconstruct and they're still believers, theists, Christian, whatever. But deconstruction isn't just about the religious ideologies that you've been fed, because directly tied to those religious ideologies are political and social ideologies. It is an entire system of belief, not just a religious belief. And unless you're living under a rock, you can clearly see that Christianity and Christian nationalism have just taken a stronghold on our entire country. And I'm not saying this is new. This has been happening for a very long time. But I almost feel like it kind of faded for a little while. We had our moment, right? And then it just like came back full force. And I have a lot of thoughts on that I'd love to share in future videos. But it's a very real issue that I see. And I don't think people realize that I wouldn't be here if I didn't think that this was a serious issue that was affecting us as a country, as a society. I feel like I've shared that many times in my videos. But it's not just about the fact that there's some people that don't want to be Christian anymore and they just want to talk about it. Like, to me, from the very beginning, I have always known that there is a greater issue that I'm actually trying to fight against, that this is a systemic problem and that it's directly connected to, it's intertwined with our government, our politics. And there's been this battle for a long time that I've seen, like Christian nationalism just trying to like hammer its way in. And it's it's kind of there, right? It's there. As an ex-Christian who was raised in an extremely controlling environment, I fear for the future of this country and of the people in it, and of the children being raised in Christian nationalist homes. I don't know what to say. I have a lot of thoughts, and I'm trying to keep this brief. But a lot of us have been very hurt and traumatized by growing up in environments that forced us to be something that we were not. And for me, I was raised going to church multiple times a week, very active in youth group, very active in vacation Bible school every summer, where we would pledge our allegiance as children to the Bible, to the Christian flag, and to the American flag. And I have to say, I find it incredibly disturbing that there are millions of children who are 10, 11, 12 years old, and they are being forced in church to pledge their allegiance to a Bible and to a religion and to a country, but I won't get into that one today. But that they are being forced to pledge their allegiance to a Bible and a religion before their brains have fully developed. And I was taught from a very young age that there was one way to be. There was one way to believe. There were dangers lurking all around me, evil spirits, Satan, constantly prowling around trying to snatch me up and take me to hell. That I was born depraved and rotten and sinful, and that I could never, ever, ever be good enough for God. And that the only way I could be good enough as a person was if I devoted my entire life to this God and I did everything he said. But since I couldn't talk to him, of course, what he said was what the Bible said, or what the men at my church interpreted the Bible to say. And I had all of these rules for who I was supposed to be and how I was supposed to think, how I was supposed to perceive the world and perceive myself and perceive others. And I am alarmed by the fact that there is a political party, an entire political movement in my country that is fueled by these ideologies, by this religion. And they are pointing their fingers at people like me and accusing us of wanting policies that groom children and hurt them. The number of people in my comments that have accused me of supporting a party that harms children and grooms children and brainwashes children is, if it wasn't so scary, it would be comical. Because I know what it's like to be a child being groomed by adults to be a specific way and forced to obey a specific religion, even when it wasn't authentic to me, to conceal parts of my identity, to conceal my own opinions, to be scared to think differently because there was a God inside my head reading my thoughts and who would be disappointed if I was thinking the wrong thing. Like a constant surveillance on my life and my mind and my body and my decisions. When I look around and I see Christian nationalists invading every inch of my government, the government that is supposed to protect me, the government that is supposed to ensure my rights and ensure that I am safe from oppression, to see that infiltrated with the very thing that I've been running from for so long it's incredibly alarming. And there are a lot of us who are very alarmed right now. A lot of people. I know it. I know it. I know if you have escaped, if you have walked away and you have spent time trying to just get away from it, only to see it just this resurgence all around you, not just in our politics, not just our politicians, but throughout the culture. And what getting off track here, but if that's you, know that you are not alone and that your fears are very valid. You do not need to panic. You do not need to, you don't need to panic. But being aware is very important, and your fears are very valid. Because this is what's like, I feel like so many of us have been gaslit by the other side telling us that this is just conservative values. This is not, Christianity is not doing anything. You have freedom. Nobody's taking your rights. Nobody's, there's no real danger or threat. But the ideologies have slipped through the church doors, and they have kind of wormed their way into our culture and our society in a really bizarre way, where even people who are not religious, people who are not Christian nationalists, are holding ideologies that are rooted in Christianity and Christian nationalism, and they don't realize it. So because I see this threat, I think it's important to talk about it and to expand this channel to cover more than just the Bible and Christianity, but how these beliefs and ideologies are kind of expanding out into our culture, what people are believing, why they're believing it. I would love to talk more about the psychology of belief and social science and why people believe hateful things and why we have such a hard time having productive conversations. What can we do to move forward and unite? If we realized our power and our numbers, I think that we would be more willing to actually start having these productive conversations with people we disagree with so that we can kind of get on the same page and maybe actually work together so that we don't lose everything. Because I'm not trying to be an alarmist, and I don't necessarily think that things will get as bad or extreme as some people are scared of it getting. But I'm on guard. Can't trust everything you read or you see. But there are some things that are just true. They're just facts, things that we can see and hear. And for some reason, people are trying to convince us aren't actually happening. So I want to talk about these things. I want to address some real concerns that we're having, but I want to do it in a way that is grounded in reality, that is skeptical, that encourages critical thinking, empathy, compassion. I believe we need to have more productive conversations, and we cannot have more productive conversations until we listen to each other, until we understand one another. And I think it's really important that we find ways to do that. And I'm not saying that If people have hurt you or oppressed you, you need to be nice to them or try to understand them. What I'm saying is that we need to understand what happened here and why we're disagreeing and figure out how to come together. I really believe that there's a lot of people that voted based on misinformation, that voted based on propaganda and fear, not on hate. And we have to be willing to understand that. We have to be willing to understand that not every single person who disagrees with you, who votes differently than you, is hateful toward you. And that a lot of people really did go to the polls thinking they were doing the best thing they could for themselves and the American people. I want to see if we can deconstruct all of it. Can we sort through the things we're being told and see where the truth lies? Can we get to the root of the conversation? Can we understand one another? Can we figure out how to communicate in a way that is productive, not reactionary? These are all the things that I would love to cover on this channel. And I hope that you'll stay with me. And I'm really trying to find my place in all of this. Again, I am alarmed, but I'm not panicking. I am in go mode. I am thinking, how can we get through this? How can we work together? How can we grow our numbers and fight systems of oppression and keep an eye on things and hold our politicians accountable, hold our representatives accountable? The thing is, we've not lost hope yet. We are not doomed. We're not cooked. We're not over. There's a lot of steps to get to that. And giving up is not the answer. Deciding to just say, screw it all, none of it matters, I'm never voting again, and I'm not involved, that doesn't help. You can do it. That's fine. That's your choice. You have that right. But if you want things to change, if you want to see things get better rather than get worse, you have the opportunity right now to make a change. And there are lots of ways we can do that. I'm still trying to find my place, but right now I'm just trying to use my voice. And I'm trying to get together with all of these people. I have 70-something thousand people here on this channel subscribed. How can we put our heads together and think about how to work toward change, positive change? We still have checks and balances. We still have ways to fight against the very real threats that are kind of looming over us right now. We have the power now. So before it's taken, if it ever is, if that is a threat, we need to utilize it and we need to figure out how to move forward in the smartest, most productive way possible. I've been rambling a lot. I do that a lot. I'm in a weird place right now mentally, and all I want to do is make a difference. All I want to do is contribute positively to the problem. So feel free to unsubscribe if this is not for you. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. It is not helpful to comment and say Trump 2024 or he won, get over it. You can do that. It only boosts my channel and gets my message out to more people, but it's not helpful. And I'd ask you to really consider your approach and what you want out of life, out of your society, your culture. What do you value? What do you hope for? And how are you going to accomplish that? So I've got some ideas. I've been thinking and writing and getting geared up. I'm in a new setup. I have a whole new setup to really kind of run with this. And I'm just gonna go with it. I'm gonna see what happens. And hope that there are enough checks and balances in place and that enough people care about our democracy and care about the threats of Christian nationalism in our government to keep it from overtaking all of us. Because we deserve to live in, the promise of America, as they say. I don't really know what that means, but I think we all deserve to just feel free and to feel happy and to feel secure and feel like we all deserve to exist and to be well. So that's all I've got for you today. I'll see you next time.